Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Escaping the cul-de-sac matrix, a financial system audit. I want you to picture something with me. Imagine two retired couples living on the exact same suburban cul-de-sac. Both of them are 68 years old, both worked for 40 years, and both retired last spring with almost identical starting nest eggs. On paper, their financial systems look like perfect mirrors of one another. But beneath the surface? From the driveway, you honestly couldn't tell them apart. I mean, couple A pulls in driving a leased 2025 Lincoln Navigator, and parked right behind it is a 32-foot motorhome they've used exactly 3 weekends all year. Meanwhile, couple B drives a 2014 Toyota Highlander with over 90,000 miles on it. Their grocery haul is straight from Costco. And the watch on his wrist? It's a Psycho he bought way back in 1997. Couple A is locked into what we're going to call the pseudo-affluent lifestyle, just hemorrhaging cash every month, while couple B is quietly compounding generational wealth. If we fast forward 20 years, couple A is going to be running out of money in their 80s. They'll be frantically running the numbers, wondering where it all went wrong. But couple B? They're going to leave their grandkids a small fortune. So our core question for this explainer is, what exact math separates these two destinies? What are the specific things that truly wealthy retirees flat out refuse to buy? Section 1. Depreciating metal and toys. Let's boot up the first data cluster of the pseudo-affluent, the depreciating metal traps. This is literally where massive amounts of wealth go to die, starting with the illusion that you need to trade in for a new car every 3 years. Look at the brutal math of depreciation here. The average new car loses about 20% of its value in year 1 and roughly 60% by year 5. If you buy a $50,000 SUV, that is $30,000 vanishing into thin air. The middle class just keeps absorbing this hit over and over. But true millionaires do the exact opposite. They hold their Toyotas for a decade. By avoiding that massive depreciation and investing the difference starting at age 50, they save around $400,000 by age 80. Think about that. That isn't just a car, that's an entire second retirement fund. Then, oh man, we have the ultimate trophy vehicles of regret, boats and RVs. Let's run a specific calculation on a $150,000 Class A motorhome. Over 10 years, when you factor in fuel, maintenance, storage, and a $60,000 depreciation hit, and you divide that by the typical 11 weeks of total usage, your all-in cost per week of vacation is $9,700. For that price, you could literally be renting a private villa in Tuscany. Instead, you're parked at a muddy campground emptying a blackwater tank in the rain. True wealth preserves capital by simply renting the RV or the boat for the one trip they actually take. And this brilliantly illustrates the truth about who actually buys these things. Thomas Stanley, the researcher behind The Millionaire Next Door, found an incredible statistic. There are nearly 5 times as many boat owners in America as there are people who leave an estate of $1 million or more. The real millionaires aren't out there clogging up the lake on a Saturday. They're comfortably sitting on their porches watching people who cannot afford boats drive boats. And the exact same status illusion applies to watches. The pseudo-affluent will bleed cash on a $20,000 Rolex just to impress a pharmacy cashier, completely forgetting that the audience they used to dress for, the bosses, the clients, vanished the day they retired. Meanwhile, real millionaires happily rock a 1997 Seiko. In fact, Stanley's data showed that 50% of American millionaires never paid more than $235 for their most expensive watch.
Section 2. Real estate status traps.
Let's see how this builds into our next system error, the massive wealth transfers hidden inside real estate illusions. If you thought boats were bad, get a load of the timeshare market. You can literally go on eBay right now and buy someone else's timeshare for a single dollar. Not $1,000, one single dollar. Why? Because the current owners are desperately trying to escape the eternally rising maintenance fees that can run up to $3,000 a year forever. You're paying thousands upfront just for the privilege of paying inflated nightly rates at a single location when you could just book a nice hotel room with free breakfast and 0 lifelong obligations. Furthermore, what about that second home or lake house you swear you'll use all the time? That becomes a massive leak in your matrix. Say you buy a $400,000 lake house. Before you even spend a night there, you're paying $16,000 a year in taxes, insurance, and lawn service. Then comes the roof, the HVAC, the furnishings. When you actually calculate the opportunity cost of that capital at a 7% return over 20 years, that lake house costs you $1.5 million. You could have left your grandchildren an absolute fortune. Instead, you left them a rotting dock that needs replacing. Section 3. The hidden fee bleed. Now we enter the darkest part of the financial network, the hidden fees, quietly draining your accounts from the inside out. These aren't flashy purchases you can show off. They're silent, structural leaks. we really have to talk about avoiding terrible insurance and annuity products. A healthy 30-year-old can get a term life policy for $20 a month. The exact same whole life policy, that costs $400 a month. That is a 20 times markup, and most of it is going directly to the salesman's commission. And variable annuities sold to retirees, they often carry hidden fees of up to 4% annually. This is a $250 billion industry built entirely on the assumption that you will not run the math. Bottom line, if the person selling it is on commission, the product is built for them, not you. Add to that the convenience app tax. A recent study actually found that people underestimate their monthly subscription costs by over $2,500 a year. Then there are the food delivery apps. Postmates, for example, marks up your food by an astonishing 92% all in. You're paying nearly double for the exact same cold food just because someone drove it a mile down the road in their Honda Civic. So what's the wealthy retiree solution here? It's brilliant, but depressingly simple. In year one of retirement, they sit down and conduct a ruthless 1-hour system audit. They cancel all the bloat, the unused streaming, the gym memberships they never use, the magazine subscriptions, the delivery apps, mathematically freeing up just $4,000 a year and keeping it invested at 7% rescues $175,000 over 20 years. Just think about that. One single hour of work to recover $175,000. Section 4. Generational Drains and Risk Zones. As we near the system core, we uncover the final glitches in the retirement matrix. Paying for forced status, heavily funding adult children, and ignoring the timing of your spending. Let's take a look at the country club. Initiation fees have skyrocketed, averaging around $50,000. Add-on dues, locker fees, and those delightful quarterly food minimums where you're forced to eat $200 worth of Cobb salad just to keep your status. When you run the math, a retired member playing 30 rounds a year is paying about $667 per round. Meanwhile, the public course right down the street charges $50. The country club isn't a hobby, folks. It's just a very expensive subscription to feeling important. And this exact same financial hostage situation applies to something so many people do: that regular monthly Venmo transfer to your adult kids. Half of American parents provide regular financial support to their adult children, averaging over $1,400 a month. Many are literally funding their kids' vacations. To sustain that monthly drain indefinitely using a 4% safe withdrawal rate, you would need an extra $4.4 million sitting in your portfolio. No way. You're quietly setting your own retirement on fire to fund a lifestyle your kids haven't even earned yet. Finally, we really have to talk about the timing of your spending. Financial planners know all about the retirement spending smile. The first 5 years are the go-go years, and ironically, they're the most dangerous. This is the retirement risk zone. If you buy the boat, the new Mercedes, and the European tour in year one, and the market just happens to drop, your portfolio may permanently shrink. This is called sequence of returns risk. Wealthy retirees, they delay major trophy purchases for 3 to 5 years to ensure they actually survive this highly vulnerable window. Section 5. The $2 million choice. Let's return to the cul-de-sac to run the final system output for Couple A and Couple B. We've seen all 10 of the traps, but here's the good news. You don't actually have to skip all 10 to secure your future. Look, retirement is supposed to be enjoyable. We're not saying you need to live on rice and beans, but by executing a system override on just 3 specific things, dropping the new car replacement cycle, walking away from the country club, and canceling that standing monthly Venmo to your adult kids, you immediately stop lighting $47,000 a year on fire. The math here is just undeniable. Those 3 precise cuts alone preserve over $2 million in compounded wealth over a 20-year retirement. That $2 million is the entire gap between the 2 couples on the cul-de-sac. It ensures Couple B thrives, travels when they want, and leaves a legacy, while Couple A runs out of data in their 80s and has to awkwardly ask their kids for a reverse Venmo. The retirees who actually stay wealthy, they don't have some magical secret. They just ran the math, got appropriately scared by it, and created a strict list of things they absolutely refuse to buy. Knowing this massive mathematical difference, the ball is entirely in your court. Which financial system are you going to choose to program for your own retirement? Will you survive the cul-de-sac matrix or let the math get away from you?